Impostor Syndrome. Am I an imposter? Are you an imposter? In some ways, this question feels like it's been beaten to death, repeatedly, across eons. But it's a valid question. It never expires. So let's talk about it. TLDR, yes, in one of two ways, each of us is an imposter. Either one, be it totally or in part, you do not know what you're doing. You fakey little shit. Or two, you know exactly what you're doing. Which means, 2A, you're just repeating the same thing over and over. Cheap, hack piece of shit. Friggity, fliggity, biggity. Do you hear that? Do you hear like creaking plastic? Or worse, 2B, you're not necessarily producing stagnant formulaic drivel, but like an effete snob, you've overstudied and over-emulated others to such a degree that you're basically pretending to be someone or someone's whom you are not. This is called plagiarism. For clarification, 2 is bad, real bad, and it's everywhere. 1 is not necessarily bad, though it can be. So let's elaborate. After a quick word from our sponsor. You guessed it, it's me, Daniel SHAE. I am our sponsor. Android users, do you need a theoretically infinite drum roll to augment your otherwise drum roll-less life? Duh, of course you do. Get my app, FANFARE Tap. This exquisite little soundboard will provide you with nearly exactly that. A drum roll that rolls drum just as long as your little heart lets it. Tap it on, and tap it again for the finale, and there you go. Threw in a few other key celebratory sounds because I'm basically a saint. FANFARE Tap. iPhone users, if you'd like me to port this out, I guess just read me in the comments. I like it. FANFARE Tap. Not knowing what you're doing 100% of the time isn't necessarily terrible. In fact, nobody really knows what the hell they're doing 100% of the time. And if they tell you they do, they're full of shit. But I am in no way saying that you should live out your professional career as an ignoramus. That, my boy, is an insult. One that is far too infrequently thrown. You should definitely somewhat know what you're doing. Educate yourself in your craft, whatever it may be. Any of the greats, also imposters, will tell you, know the rules so that you can break them intelligently and with purpose. If you're a writer, you should probably understand things like hero's journey, narrative strategy, or, I don't know, basic grammar and syntax. If you're a composer, like this guy, you should have at least a somewhat working knowledge of music theory. To a modern day composer, the circle of fifths should not be a foreign concept. And I am not suggesting that you need to have every transposing instrument memorized. Maybe 200 years ago, that knowledge was a professional imperative for a composer. But today, modern tools take care of that for us. There are probably more important things to memorize for the age we're in right now. If a client is expecting a track to be stream ready, it needs to be mastered somewhere around -14 LUFS. Game tracks should be, in most cases, especially if it's intended to loop, exported as .ogg or .wave. This is because these file types keep precise time and loop seamlessly. Don't export the final product as an MP3. It's heinous. It's just heinous. Your client or boss needs to be able to trust that you are the professional. Otherwise, why did they hire you? But always leave room to experiment and play so as to not run the risk of being a hack. Surely I say unto you that there should be such times when you ask yourself, do I even know that which I do? Creatives are in many ways explorers. We're meant to suit up, arm ourselves with the knowledge of what has worked, what has not worked, and why, and as my colleague and good friend Joel likes to put it, travel out into the dark void and bring back something new. Bring back something new, something original, something ideally equal parts heart and brain. If it's all heart and no brain, you risk appealing solely to teenagers or the young adult. No offense, because you guys rule. And if it's all brain and no heart, you risk appealing solely to eccentric, niche, college professors with the elbow patches. Oh, come on, you assholes know exactly who you are. Let yourself be inspired. Let yourself discover, learn, find. Never stop making pretty things. I'm Daniel SHAE, and I appreciate you watching. Like, follow, subscribe, help me start a cult. You're not Shakespeare, you're not Tarantino, you're you, and that gets more real as you go. Until you drop dead.